Hey everybody, this is Louis Schroeder. Welcome back. This is round 3 of the Vintage Camera Shootout. Today I'm going to be putting the Agfa Optima 3 up against the Waltz Wide, and you're going to determine which camera out of the two uh, is the better one or produces the best images and moves on to the next round. But first, we're gonna go back to round 2 and reveal the winner of that round. As you may recall, anytime I do a new round, I reveal the winner of the previous round because the vote that you make, I don't reveal the brand name at the time. It's camera A and camera B. So before we get to round 3, let's go back to round 2. And the competitors there were the Konica 3 against the Olympus 35S. And you guys voted for camera B, I think almost unanimously, to be the winner of round 2. So the big question is, which camera out of the two, the Konica 3 or the Olympus 35S, was camera B? And the answer to that, the winner of round 2, was the Konica 3. And you can go back to a round 2 video and check out the images if you like, but it's pretty clear that the photographs with the Konica 3 were sharper. The color actually seemed in some of the shots better on the Olympus 35S, but the sharpness just wasn't there compared to the Konica 3. So Konica 3 moves on to the next round, to the semifinal 1, and that's going to be against the Yashica E35. So that will be semifinal 1, the Konica 3 against the Yashica E35. But before we get to any semifinals, we still have to determine who are going to be the two semifinalists in semifinal 2. And to figure that out, we have to start with round 3. So let's go back to that, and it'll be round 3, Agfa Optima 3 against the Waltz Wide. Now, as I've mentioned before, these cameras, I've mostly found them at estate sales or garage sales, mostly estate sales. And they're not always in 100% condition because, you're finding them somebody's house after maybe 40 years of non-use, and it's kind of the luck of the draw on how it's going to work out. So they all sometimes have issues here and there, and that's the case of the Agfa Optima 3. It's a beautiful camera. I love the design. It kind of reminds me of like the Jetsons, the TV show. The lines on it, um, the curves. It just looks like something out of the 50s, early 60s. Um, the little teardrop shutter on the front. Everything about it. On the back, you have the the winder. It's like a little curved metal. Just everything's just beautiful. The one problem I have with it is that the sensor is not working, or at least doesn't seem to be working as far as I can tell. So after I originally did a test shot with it, I determined that I can still use it, but I have to use it in bright sunlight because the way the camera, the shutter is, the shutter speed is set for a non-functioning sensor. Um, it basically works well on a sunny day. So I had to go out on days that were sunny, and I had to photograph things under sunlight for the Agfa Optima 3 to work properly. If I took photos in a shady area, it would just be underexposed. So I had to kind of overcome that. I had to basically shoot in the sun. So that's what I had to do with with the Agfa. Also, the Agfa is a pretty much an automatic camera. You don't set anything. It does all the settings on its own. It does the focus. It does the metering and all that. So it's really a point and shoot camera. But like as I said, in this case, because I know that the sensor is not working, I think basically after decades of that type of sensor being exposed, it loses its power, or its function, and basically doesn't work. I think if that type of sensor is covered and protected for all these years, it might still work. But in this case, this camera was probably just exposed to natural light for its entire life, and that sensor just lost its power somehow. I believe that's how this particular sensor works. And the other camera, the Waltz Wide, which is a camera I had never even heard of. I found that on an estate sale. Really interesting camera. The one difference about it is that it is slightly wider than most of these type of cameras. But this one, it's a totally manual camera. You could set the shutter speed, you could set the aperture, and and all that. So for this camera, I basically was in control of all that. I didn't have to shoot in the sun with it, but since I was shooting the same subject matter, so that you can compare the photos, they mostly were. But yeah, so those are the two cameras, the Agfa Optima 3 and the interesting different Waltz Wide. And so what you need to do is just you need to watch the video now. You're going to see the photos, and then in the comments section, just let me know which camera you thought produced the best images, camera A or camera B. All right, thank you very much. And check in for round 4 to find out the results of round 3. But first, I need you to vote. So write in the comments section. Thank you very much. Camera A or camera B?